Hello, friends. Just checking to make sure that my mic is working. It was not working last week. Let's see. It says it's working there. If you are watching live, if you could hop into chat, let me know that you can hear me and let me know that you're here. Say hi. Tell me something that you're looking forward to doing this weekend. And no sound? Okay. Alright, there is sound. Hooray! Alright, thank you, Dakota. Now that I can take a deep breath, we have sound, we have video, we have people. Hooray! Hello and welcome to 3 on Thursday. My name is Michelle and this is Crafters Northwest, and I do a video every Thursday where we make at least 3 cards. 98% of the time we have sound as well. Last week I did not have sound, so I do need to record that sound again for you and upload the video. I do apologize for that. Last week we did have an extra bonus card though, so when I get that sound up and fixed, you'll be able to make those cards. You could try to do it with a decipher. You could try to decipher it. Gosh, that just did not come out very well. This card, we're not making this card today, but there is a video already up on the channel. There is information on my blog about how to make this. I would bring this close up and show you, but I have adjusted my camera so it is focused on my desktop. So if I bring anything closer, it's just fuzzy and it will not refocus. So hopefully that will help going forward in videos, and I will have to get my other camera set up so that I can do any close-up shots. So that being said, if you like this card, there's a video that shows you how to do it already up and you can watch that. So to do a quick recap from last week, we made, like I said, some extra cards. So this was the first card that we did. It's super simple, super easy. The coloring is simple even, and I think it's a super cute, fun card. And then this was card number 2 with this absolutely adorable little fox. So you can do your bouquet kind of in any way that you want. And that's the inside. So these two little fun guys are in the same stamp set. It is from one of the last releases that Stampin' Up! Did of Close to My Heart product. It is no longer available, but I know many of you got it, so I wanted to do a video with it for that reason. Plus they're super adorable, so I mean, who wouldn't want to, right? Alright, let's see. Sorry, one second. There we go. Okay, next up, let me move these out of the way. Next up, and again, these are cards from last week that I will re-record the sound on. So this is the third card that we did, and it is a fun little gift card holder. In the video, I stamped the inside with the same purple that we were using for the flowers that you can barely see in the background here. So you could do black or the purple. And we did some stamping on the DSP to kind of create our own DSP. And then this is the bonus card that we got when we were making this one, because this is a 4th generation stamping in both the outline and the color. So since we were stamping off anyway, we might as well make something with it, right? So we did 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and then 4th generation stamping. And then we made a fun card out of it. So that's how sometimes you will get more than 3 cards on a 3 on Thursday video. So, if you saw the post, one of the posts that I did, I gave you a hint that we would be using Paper Pumpkin today. And we're going to. All 3 cards are going to be from the August Paper Pumpkin. And I just kind of wanted to show you what's included. When you get your first kit, if you've not signed up before, when you get your first kit, you'll get a block. Now, this is the block that I got. I am under the understanding that it is now a different block, but it's going to be this same size, the same square size. It just will not be the same thickness. It's my understanding it's half of that thickness. So I'm going to use the same size block just so you guys can see how that all works. Now, before I open up this one, I wanted to show you last month's kit as well, just so you can see kind of what's included. And okay. So it's not quite how it's packaged, but it did come in this beautiful box. It's so pretty. The sides do show, I know it's not gonna clear up, but it does show you the name of it and the month and year, so that if you wanted to, you could keep them in the box and you could have them stacked on your shelf. Or I'll show you a different option you can do here momentarily. So when you open it, it is you do have your, it's prettier than this, it's nice and neat and whatever, but you do have your stamp set and your ink on the top of your box. Okay, so this, like I said, is last month's. So we had a beautiful flower and some sentiments and whatnot, and gray granite ink, which is good. I need this one. I don't have this one yet. So it always will have a stamp set and a ink spot. Okay, so you open up your paper, and usually, at least from what I have seen, usually it's this pretty blue color. I'm not sure why it was a different blue color, or different, not blue color, different tissue color last time. And yes, unfortunately, I did just flush my address to everybody. Oh well. So let's go ahead and move this out of the way. So of course you can reuse that tissue paper. So it does come, I have not even opened this yet. I thought I opened this package to show my friend Tari, but apparently I just opened the box. So let's move the box out of the way. So this is the package. This is how it comes. It's not even opened yet. So it comes with instructions. People often think that there's no instructions because, as you saw me when I took it out, it comes like this. There is you can see it here, there is a cardboard backer. It's a nice thick cardboard backer, so if you do mini albums, keep these. If you don't do mini albums and you do Paper Pumpkin, send me your, give me your cardboard pieces. So the only thing usually that you will need to complete anything, and it's not even an always, but the only thing would be scissors. Because like in this kit that we're going to do today, there is some baker's twine, so you'll need some scissors to cut it. But everything else is in the kit, short of the postage stamp and the pen to write your sentiment inside. Alright, so on the back, along with the instructions, is an extra little pamphlet. It's not even a pamphlet per se, but it's just a little printout, and that is in case you wanted to put your stuff into one of the CD cases that we carry. There is a printout on the Paper Pumpkin website that you can print out and then just put this in there with that. And so basically, this would just go here. That printout does wrap around so it looks similar but not the same as this. It has the information on the side panel as well, and information on the back. So it's a full printout. You can just slide it in after you trim it down, obviously, and then put everything inside. And then, while the instructions don't fit, you could fold them and put them in. But you could put everything else into your CD case. So in this little Ziploc, we have our so this is the tear and tape. So it's enough. You have your mini, there we go. You have your mini dimensionals, and then you have some iridescent adhesive backed sequins. My brain wanted to call them confetti, and I knew that that was not correct. Alright, so you have envelopes. You'll have enough envelopes for every project, so they will be pre-printed. Usually there's a design on the outside, but not necessarily always, but there is always a design on the inside. So that is super fun, and when you close the envelope, they will fit in that DVD case. So just to show you all of those envelopes, here we'll put them all together. So we have all three envelopes, all three styles of envelopes, all three styles of inside. You have your pre-printed card bases. So these kind of match the envelopes that we had. And you have your die cuts. So you have the die cuts and all the extra little pieces. So you can see there is a coral banner behind the sentiment banner here. There is an old olive banner behind here. And what is that? Probably Flirty Flamingo back there. So those are color banners. There are die cut sentiments, sentiment pieces. So this one would go here. And so on. I'm not going to line all of them up. You get the idea. There is, generally speaking, if you have if you're making 3 cards with 1 sentiment, there will be 4 pieces that you're going to stamp on. That is, you have 1 chance to mess up, and after that, you're on your own. Okay, and then these are the die cut pieces. Look at that. Is that not gorgeous? And so you will have enough pieces for each of the cards. So this kit makes 3 card designs and 3 cards of each design. So 9 cards total. And you get everything that you need, like I said, with the exception of the scissors. The block comes in the first box, so you'll keep the block, obviously. So when you're done, you'll have 9 cards. Usually you'll only have the sentiment, the extra sentiment left over, but sometimes there are a few extra pieces. Obviously there's not going to be extra of those pieces, but there might be extra of this type of a piece in your kit. It really kind of depends. And then you can just put your stamp in there and you can store everything in your case. Another option, some people will use the 4x6. I did not have one of those super handy, but you can get in the package comes with a multitude of things. 6x8, 4x6, 2 of 4x6, and 4 3x4s on one thing. And so some people are using those to store their stamps and such. So how you store it, up to you. Let me just kind of tuck all these back in here. And then your ink spot, of course, does not fit in the DVD case, but you probably wouldn't store that there anyway. So, there are 2 ink spots in here because one I had opened already. It was from the first kit that I got with my kit when I signed up. So this one actually came in this box. So now I have 2. So I figured I would use the one that I have open first, and if for some reason that doesn't work, I can open up the other one. And you can see they are a different style. So this one is a bit older, so I'm not sure how inky it is. So I have already taken out the tissue paper and whatnot. I have sorted them out into the cards, so I have one of each ready to go. So I'm just going to put this off to the side and out of the way. So this month you actually got 2 stamps with the set, and if I put those here, you can see, so it's a birthday set, so you have birthday stuff over here, and then you have the numbers over here. Your 6 and 9 are interchangeable, so there is not a 9 on here, but you can use your 6 for that. Let's see, I want to check really quick and see if there are any more kits available. Okay, so there are not any full kits still available, but there is a refill available. So that means you would get everything except the stamps and the ink. So that means you would not get that piece, but you would get everything else. You'd get 3 of each of the cards. You'd get your dimensional, you would get your little glue dots, and you would get the twine as well. So if you wanted to make these, you could get the refill kit. The refill kit is $12, which is not bad for 9 cards and everything included. Not bad at all. You would just have to use a different stamp set to make them. Or come to a crop or a crafting bee and make them there. I can bring mine and you can use them. So this is the Baker's Twine. So we have a rose gold metallic Baker's Twine. And this is super fun. So we're just only going to use what's in the kit plus our scissors. Okay, let's go ahead and get started. So I do have our instructions. So these are the cards we're making today. Right? Super cute. So we are going to make them as is. There are full instructions on how to do this, which I think is fantastic. So none of these cards actually use any of the actual numbers on them. So this is an add-on that you can, it's, that's not necessarily the right word. It is something that comes with the kit, so you don't have to add it on, but it is something that you can add to your cards, maybe the inside or the envelope or anything like that. So I'm just gonna set that aside because we do have limited space, right? Okay. So we need Alright, sorry, just looking at it. I haven't even looked at it really yet. So these are all of our pieces. And our envelope. If you do like the paper pumpkins, one of the things that you can do is you can slowly invest in some additional blocks. So this is the smallest block that Stampin' Up! Has, and it would be so handy in this case because it would make lining up these candles a little bit easier. But I was missing it. I couldn't see it. And I'm like, where's our little candle? But we can do it with our larger block. So I am just going to, every time before I use the stamp for the first time, I am going to rub it on the back of my hand, and that just gives us a nice surface. So it will have some release agent on it still from when it was made. And this is just a scratch paper, so I can make sure that I have it inked up really well. Alright, we have our 3 candles done. The other thing that I would highly recommend, it is not necessary, but will make things easier, is a stamp chamois. Mine is wet. I keep it in that case and keep it damp all the time. I am still going to need that again. That's okay. So let's bring in our other piece. I'm going to unfold this. And it says that we want this candle and our little candle again. And then if we wanted to, we could just put our sentiment on here instead of making it a whole different stamp. Alright. Lost count. Of course, we do not have the ability to put our rays on there because of how stamps work, but that's okay. Alright, so while I have used this one, I haven't used those other ones, so I am going to go ahead and do the same thing. And because we have so many on here, I flipped the stamp, the block around rather, so that instead of putting the stamp onto the ink, I was putting the ink onto the stamp. Beautiful. Clean that off. So obviously if you were making the kit, you would do the stamping on all of the pieces at the same time. Alright, that way you didn't have to take them off and put them back on, take them off and put them back on. Bring these guys back. The great thing about these is you can see through them. So you can get that ray of light lined up on our on the top of the wick. All right, make a wish. I often, especially with sentiments or straight pieces, will put the stamp down on my surface and then pick it up with my block, because if we wanted to, we could pick up our piece and then we could curve it. So we could have a curved candle if we wanted to, or we could curve our sentiment or anything like that. So to make sure that it's straight, I will let go of it on my surface so it can revert to its natural form, and then it will be more likely to be straight. Make a wish. Voila. Okay. Card number 1 is all stamped. So let's go ahead and put this together. Move some pieces out of the way. All right, so let's move our scratch piece out of the way. Let's fold our piece how it needs to be folded. So it does show us how we want to fold it. Okay, so I'm gonna, normally we would start, you know, in the United States, we start left, we read right. Just so that I know that I'm doing things the right way, and I know that I need to be able to see this panel when it's opened, because we're gonna glue there. I know that this panel needs to fold this way, so I can verify exactly what these arrows mean. Right? So we're just going to fold and burnish. If you have a bone folder, you can bring that in and use that. And then this will fold back. This is the fold that it had in the package. We have another fold here. And then another one here. Does that look right? That does look right. All right. Fantastic. So everything is now stamped and folded. All right, here on 2, after we they did that in an interesting order, but basically our little candles here need to have dimensionals put onto the back of them. Now, if you feel like I do, that you have giant sausages for fingers, you can use your scissors. To pick up your dimensionals. I don't like that these are sticking out, so let's fix this. Alright, I am going to use another tool. I do apologize. I know I said I wasn't going to. But I'm going to grab my piercing tool from close to my heart, remove the cat hair, and line this up. And normally this isn't that hard. My brain just does not want to pay attention to what it's supposed to do. Alright, so we have our dimensionals there. Alright, so 1, stamping, and more stamping, and more stamping. Done. 2 is dimensionals. 3, more stamping. 4 is folding. That is interesting. I didn't actually pay attention to the numbers down here at the bottom. 1, 2, 3, 4. So if I had, I would have paid attention. I would have realized I was doing it the way they were telling us to do it. That is kind of fun. Okay, so this says we need 18 inches of twine. All right, good news is we have a handy dandy ruler on our sheet. And just so that we can verify, So it's not perfect, but it's pretty close. So it looks like the one is the most off, and it's off by a 16, it's off by less than 1/8 of an inch. So, I mean, really, that's not terrible. All right, where is our twine? So we need 18 inches. So that is essentially the length of our paper here. I know I'm off screen, I do apologize. Does it have to be exact? Nope. Could you cheat? Yep. Because what you could do is you could, instead of running it across the back, which, I mean, this is, what, 4 inches? Not even. 3.5 inches. So you could save yourself 3 inches and just tape a piece on here. Goodness. Tape a piece on there and here so you'd save a little bit. But they want you to wrap it around. Let's see if we can make it even. And tie a bow. That's cute, right? Oh, but they also want you to put the tag on there. That makes sense. And we needed to, oops, go back and add our candles. So I'm just going to scooch this off. Well, we got to untie it because we got to put the bow on there. Okay. Going backwards. All right. Let's put all of our little pieces on here. So we have candle number 1. It's going to go over here. Candle number 2. Let's see. Candle number 2 goes here-ish. And then candle number 3 goes about here. Okay. Now that we have that fixed, now we can go back over here. So let's try this again. All right, so we're gonna pause here. Okay, this looks difficult to do. I promise it's only difficult because I'm trying to pause to show you guys. Other than that, it's not difficult. So, if you really wanted to, what you could do is you could, oh, this would be cute. You could put this so that it's glued with dimensionals right here on this panel, right? Essentially where my finger is. And then that would give you a tuck spot for this piece, right? And it would still open the whole way. But that's not what we're doing. All right. Should I do that before or after? I think we're just going to keep it just like that. Okay, it is not super tight, and I wish I had an easy way to change that. I mean, I kind of do. So if you tie it first like this, right, and it's not super tight, you can retie it after you do the next couple steps, or when we flip this over, because it wants us to use dimensionals on the back. So you could make this tighter. Like you could snip this and use some tape and tape this down. Or you could leave it loose and just retie it when we're all done with the next step. Okay, this is the amount of dimensionals that it tells us to use. And if you know me, you know that that is not enough dimensionals. So I'm going to add more. And this is still going to be less than I would normally do, but I'm going to stop there. I'm going to call it good. Okay, just for you guys. And one of those backings had already been pulled off, so it now wants to stick to my table. All right. So we are going to pull all of these off. Let's go ahead and use our cheat. This works, our little cheat works with the take your pick tool as well. All right, so here is the base of our card. It is not your typical folding base. It is just a single sheet. So you can write on the back, you can write on the inside of this little card, or you can put this onto a card base if you want to have your traditional card as well as the fun fold. Okay. So now if you wanted, you could retie this. Oh, I see what happened. I'm like, what? I got caught on the candle. So it's a little bit tighter, but that's kind of a fun little design. How funny. All right, and that is card number 1, all done. Super fun, super cute, super easy. If you don't like how much this moves, you could easily, let's see if it said and I missed it. No, it does not appear so. You could easily take a glue dot or dimensional and put that on there. It would still open completely, but this wouldn't be super floppy. But that kind of makes it fun as well because it's like a real tag. So, all right, card 1. Oops, can't forget our envelope. So this would fit in here just like this. Now this probably isn't a card that you would want to mail because it is on the thicker side. You can. It will be extra postage if you do. But just know that that's where that sits. All right, card number 2. Look how pretty that is. So fun. All right. So where? Oh, because this is card number 3, not card number 2. All right. Adjusting. All right, back to card number 2. There we go. So, inside, still cute, different pattern. Now, I did put all 3 pieces into this card because they are stickers, and I didn't want to have to cut it apart and all that good jazz. So, we are going to do our stamping first. Right, so if you, let me grab the piece out real quick. So this is what those pieces look like, and like I said, if you are stamping, you'll get 1 extra piece that you're stamping on. But right, so we have all of our candles. So if you were putting this together, you would put your candle. Ooh, sorry, that was loud. Right, you will put your candle on your block, and then I would leave them all punched or all in the sheet, and then ink them all up on the sheet, so then they're not moving. You have more stability with each piece, and it's not going to move around near as much. So that would be my little tip. Back to business. All right, so our ink. Voila. And let's see, our sentiment, it's time for cake. So, for example, here, let's see, here's our piece. So here is this piece. We're not using it, right? But we could easily, obviously this sentiment is too long for this piece, but we could easily bend our stamp so it fits on the piece that we're using. Sorry, I just got a cat hair in my eye. And now I can't get it out. Oh. Do you have to do that? No, you do not. What happens if you don't do that? If you don't do that, or there are a few other ways to do it, it is not the end of the world. What will happen is your ink will pill up and repel faster because it's got that release agent on it. So it's meant for things to, for the stamp to not stick to the mold when it's being made. So we need to kind of get rid of some of that. Okay, now it's time to do all the things. So we're going to flip everything over. So these are our cake slices. Those will get glue dots. Time for cake will get dimensionals. Our fork. Look at this. I just love this. I have a rose gold fork. I'm actually going to, hold on, brain processing. Forks, normally like that, and then like that. Alright, I am going to do a little bit extra. So I'm gonna kind of make my fork look like a fork. I know, you're like, it already looks like a fork, Michelle. But just by adding these little bends in here, I'm not folding it, I'm just bending it. Right? But just by doing that, it makes it look more fork-like. Right? And I will show you how to keep that shape. Alright, we'll come back to that. We need, let's fold our base. Now, if you wanted to, and this is not the best example to show you, but if you wanted to, you could cut your card bases in half, and then you would have two card bases, obviously. This one, the cake is only printed on one side. So the second side, not great for the same card, and you do have this little bit here. But that could easily be covered with, you could make a banner, you could do any number of things, but you have a pre-printed card base to start your next card. Alright, glue dots. So these will come up super easy. If you have used any of the adhesive backed embellishments, this will be that exact same process, this part of it anyway. Alright, I am going to actually pull in, I have 6 left on this sheet, so I'm going to use these. They are the same thing, exact same thing from a different kit, but that way I can use them up and be done with that sheet. Okay, so we need to put a glue dot on the base of our fork, and I know this is different than what it says. But if I can oomph it up any, why not? So you could leave it like this, and when you glue it down, it can be kind of smushed together. Or you can take your foam and your scissors, and you can cut just a tiny sliver. So go with how small you think you need it and make it a little bit smaller. That's my suggestion. And we're gonna put that on. See, I did that and I was almost too big still. Alright, and just put that on the handle of the fork. Okay, and then we need some dimensionals on this guy here. And dimensionals on our candle. Okay. And now we are ready to assemble. So these will just pop off. And we're essentially going to create the same size border on 3 of the sides. And same at the top. And then we're just going to center the center one between those other 2. Right? Simple. Love it. Put our candle right there. It is time for cake. We'll call that good. All right. So for hooray, let's take out all the centers first before we try to pick this up. That way we don't have to worry about them. Okay, and then I'm going to bend. I'm not folding, I'm just bending. So I'll bend the top half away, and then I'll flip it over and I will hold it so that I can get a bend here, right, to pop that tail and the loopy tail, and then do the same thing on the bottom, holding the sticker so that it kind of pops everything away from the cut. Okay, and then I can go through and I can pull this up just like that. And it is a cardstock thickness, or close to at least. So it will, you know, as you can see, it's fairly straight still. All right. Now, our fork. So my hope is this does not become a super deformed fork, but I guess we shall see. All right, so we're going to put this down. Okay. I definitely am not going to put foam underneath each of these tines. Like, I couldn't make it thin enough to do that. And I don't want it to show through. So it'll be like that. It'll be pressed down a little bit in the envelope, but it shouldn't be too bad. It should still pop up off of the card when it's taken out of the envelope. But you can see, maybe if I do it this way, you can see that our fork pops up off of our card. So it looks a little bit more fork-like, for lack of a better term. And that is card number 2. All right. Now, I'm looking really quick, and none of our instructions tell you where to, because I'm thinking of the other kit. I'm like, nothing tells you where to put the sequins, but there's no sequins in this kit. This kit's embellishment is the twine. That's what I get for looking at 2 kits at one time. All right, card number 3, for real this time. So this would be one of those card bases that you could easily cut in half and add to another card base and have the same starting point for each one. You won't have the pieces in the kit. You'll have to do something else with it, but that is an option. All right, our only stamping is Happy Birthday. And Happy Birthday is already curved on the stamp itself. So you'll see when I lay it down here that it already fits on that banner, which is great. That means we don't have to do anything. But if you wanted to make it a little bit more curved, you easily could. Right? Voila. That, my friends, is all of the stamping for today. Okay, so we have glued dots on our banner. So we'll finish off this sheet. Hooray. interesting. I almost missed. We have glue dots and dimensionals. Alright, so that is it for our glue dots. Bring in our dimensionals. So which one? So I'm going to put these in the same way that they are. So, like I mentioned earlier, I like to use more dimensionals than most. So I'm going to add at least one extra dimensional per balloon. And it looks like I'm adding it in the wrong spot, but they are upside down, so they will be flipped over. And then 2 more. The great thing about the dimensionals is you do have the ability to use the sides. It's so easy. The sides, these actually would be perfect on that first card for the backing. So you could cut these into small strips. Okay. Oh, not done. There are dimensionals here. So let's go ahead and do that. Right, we're crafters, so we are going to, of course, use everything. Oh. We need a little bit more, and this is still not, I would still normally use more, but I will refrain. Alright, so this one, our card opens this way. So let's take off all of this stuff. I love this little trick. Makes it so easy, and they're contained. They're all right there. I'll just pop them off into my little garbage can. So, center this. All right. Big balloon first. Dakota's over there trying to give me a heart attack. Sheesh. Sheesh. This one's gonna get tucked under. Now, I am not doing it, but you could do it. You could take a black pen and add strings, or a gray pen, or whatever color pen you wanted, and add strings to each of these balloons before you glue anything down, so that you then have the strings on the balloons. If that is something that would bother you, feel free to do that. Okay. Okay, so now this says that we want 8 inches of twine and a glue dot to attach it on there. I say that we just tie it on there. Right, so we don't have to do the knot, right? We can just tie the bow because this is purely decorative. Let's see if we can get this to flip down the other way. Not sure that we can. Maybe. All right, let's trim this off a little bit. So one of the secrets, I'm not sure if it will work with this twine because this twine, well here, let's try this. So this is a little secret. So if your twine is super curly, like this is, right, this is what it wants to do. Because it is a metallic thread wrapped around a white twine on the inside, and I don't know if you can actually see that, but we're going to do a curling ribbon style, and we're just going to use our scissors or our bone folders, and we're going to use the side. We're not using this side. This is too sharp. You will not get the effect that you want. And we're just going to press just like that and pull. And so see, it's straighter than it was. Does that affect our scissors? A little bit. I just noticed something. All right. So there are parts that are like this is a little bit more rubbery than this part. So it depends on the scissors. So, you know, kind of pay attention to that. All right. So our string is much straighter now. Or twine rather. So it will fight us much less. Nope, that's not what we wanted to do. So we're just going to tuck it under, and we're going to make 2 little mini, well, we're going to make 1 loop, wrap it around. Could you do 2 bunny ears and do it? Yes. That's not how my brain does things anymore. So if that's how your brain works, go for it. All right. Maybe. Let's try. Nope, that's not going to work. Loop, wrap. Uh-oh. I promise you, it is not this hard. Let's try it upside down because it keeps trying to slip off. This is much easier already. All right, so we're gonna pull it tight-ish, right? And then we're gonna push on the knot, and we're going to pull our strings to make our bows smaller. Pushing on that center will help keep the bows from twisting around. This one kind of did already, but I think that's more because of the metallic in the Baker twine. Voila. It's kind of, doing its own thing. So, there you are. 3 cards. It makes a total of 9. So, we're just over an hour, but there was some talking and stuff at the beginning. So, we're about an hour making 3 cards. Will it take you that long? Absolutely not. Maybe an hour for the whole kit, because you're going to do all of your stamping first, right? Even if you just do all of the stamping for 1 card, and then you're going to do everything for each of the 3 cards before you move to the next style. And so it is more time efficient that way. Plus, you're not pausing to show other people how to do things like I was doing. So your card making will go considerably faster. So if you wanted to, you could add another layer inside, or you could just keep them just like this. You do not have to add any more to them. They are great just like this. So if you are interested in Paper Pumpkin, let me know. I would love to help you get started with that, or answer any questions that you might have about it. They are great. Probably at least 80, if not higher, % of the time they are cards. There are occasions where they have been tags. They have been treat kits. I believe the October ones are probably usually treat kits for Halloween, but I'm not positive on that. I'm new to Stampin' Up, so I don't know all of the history. I have followed some ladies for quite some time, and so I do know some things, but I don't know everything. I'm still learning. So I would say 80% or greater, probably greater, of the time it is cards. Other times it might be tags, it might be treat bags, it might be little gift boxes, right, to put little candies in for desk treats or creative retreats or things like that. I think those are the only real options I've ever seen for the Paper Pumpkin. There are kits available. Like there is a kit right now that it's a some of the kids games. It's all paper stuff, but like you remember the ball in a cup, the ice cream cup type of thing, right? The ball on the string trying to get it into the cup. There's a paper kit that has something like that in it, and a few other things. It's super cute for kids. So I would love to answer any questions you have. Thank you so much for joining me today. I will this week get last week's audio re-recorded and uploaded for you guys. I'm not going to trim the video at all. I am just going to record an audio over top of it, just so that you guys have it. The whole reason to have the 3 on Thursdays is you guys can craft with me at the same pace. You don't have to pause. You don't have to pause, fast forward, things like that. You can rewatch and repeat and rewind and stuff if you need to. And you might have to pause a little bit sometimes because some of the things I do have pre-stamped and ready to go. And I do have, of course, all the pieces pre-cut. But it's made to be able to have everything and then make it and move on. So thank you again so much for joining me today. I will stop rambling. I will see you all next week for 3 on Thursday. Again, my name is Michelle. This is Crafters Northwest, and I will see you guys next week.